Judy Gammon. I'm sitting down with Mary Grace Thoennes, and Mary Grace is running for city council in Southlake, Texas. And I'm just curious, what made you go down this road?
Well, I feel like it's been a road for 20 years.
Uh-huh.
I've lived in Southlake for 20 years, and when I first got involved with Southlake was in the early days, and one cause led to another. Target was going to be coming into Southlake, and we just weren't ready for it. We didn't have the infrastructure for it. So I led the opposition on that and was successful in preventing Target from developing in Southlake. And had Target developed in Southlake, the whole direction of our town would be different from what it is today.
Right. The shops and the town square and the feel, minus the big box. I think that getting away from big box was a good idea.
Yeah. Well, and especially now, 20 years ago, it was the way that people shopped. Now more people are doing internet sales. So we don't need big boxes. So we could have had, in addition to Target, another big box. And
I am a Target fan, though.
Oh, I love Target.
I got to admit, I'm a Target fan, but I don't mind, driving 5-10 minutes down the road to go.
And I love Target, too. The area that they were proposing was not the best place to put a Target. We didn't have the infrastructure set up for it.
Okay, so that's in the past. So now let's talk about the future, because this election, we really want to make sure that we put people in these positions. And the place you're running for is
Place 4.
Place 4.
And that's a seat that it was term limited, so that Randy Williamson is not able to run again. So it's an open seat.
Okay. All right. And so what sets you apart? What's your platform? What's important to you for the future of Southlake?
Yeah. Well, we need to work on our economic development side. We've got a great economic department with the city. However, we are running into competition. The towns right down the road from here are competing against us on corporate development. So we need to have...
And are you referring to what, Westlake?
Westlake, and then Grapevine and Roanoke and Trophy Club. All of those cities are now coming fully on board. Whereas in the past, people came to us and they wanted to develop in Southlake. And they still do, but now they have choices and they're looking at other cities.
Right.
So I want to focus on the economic development side of bringing in that corporate headquarters. A corporate headquarter being...
Do we have the land to do it?
We do. We've got along 114, the 114 corridor. And we also have a lot of vacancies in our current buildings.
Right.
So it can be, managing.
Turn those into kind of like recycle them into something corporate.
Right.
That's going to stick around for a while, that's sustainable.
Exactly. And you said the right word, is sustainable.
Sustainable.
We want to be able to have those businesses that will be here for a while and that will use our daytime amenities like the restaurants and the retail. So that will help with the sales tax.
Right.
And then with that business being here, it helps with the property tax. All of that is a circle to be able to then help us.
It all goes in the same pot, right?
Right. So all of that money, the revenue that's generated from taxes, whether it's sales tax or property tax, is what is used to pay for the services of Southlake, our fire and water.
Yeah, what year did you move into Southlake?
So I bought land in 1999 and then built my house. I was the general contractor and built it in 2002. But in 1999, literally the month after I purchased that land, I got involved with Southlake right away.
I didn't realize we came about the same time because I came in 98.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it was 98, 97, 98, right around the end of 97, early 98. And it's amazing the difference. Like, I remember Southlake before Town Square.
Yeah.
I remember all of these things. But
the Dairy Queen.
The Dairy Queen. I'm very happy and pleased with kind of the development of Southlake as a master plan.
Right.
That people didn't jump the gun, go out there, overdevelop it. Southlake Town Square, I remember when, this will crack you up, but I remember when Rick Stacy was the mayor and he had this idea for Town Square. And he went door to door with his VHS tapes. And there were people that were so against it. It will never work. This is terrible. But he had vision. And one thing that I've known about you, because we've known each other for some time.
Right.
And we've served on boards together. And it's just been a pleasure to know you. But you also have that visionary to you. And everybody over time has things they're really good at politics, and maybe some things that other people didn't agree with what they did. But the one thing I will say is that the people that have served this city and have done it with vision and strategy have really served us well. And being a longtime resident, I can say that because I've seen it. I've lived it. I've been here for it. And you being a long time resident and landowner here in Southlake, you too have been involved for some time and been in that growth.
Right. It has been one of the things in this campaign season is kind of going back and looking at all of the things that have happened during my 20 years here. And the leaders that Rick Stacy, Gary Fickus, John Terrell, and Andy all had the same vision to be able to look for the future. What was this going to look like 10 to 20 years from now? And that's how I make decisions. It's a decision for today, but more importantly, what does that effect look like in 5 to 10 years?
Right.
And we are so fortunate in Southlake that our early leaders had that vision to sit down and develop a master plan. And that master plan...
And they stuck to it even when it wasn't popular.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where residents can come in and buy a house and then know what's the future plan look like. Is this something I'm for or against? You know, they can know and have that information to make a decision on where they want to build and buy their home.
You know, one of the reasons I think you're such a good candidate is because I know so many people on the city council. I know the mayor personally, and I feel like you are a good match for that mix. You know, it's all about the team effort. It's not about one councilman. It's not about one person. It's about how does the team work together. And I know that our mayor has done an excellent job with community. We see things out of the police department and the fire department that we've never seen before. You know, it's really fun. I have people that don't live anywhere near here telling me that they follow those departments like on social media.
Right.
And so how do you feel about that that sense? I mean, do you feel the same way that these are people that I know you know them all very well, but is it something you feel you could get in there and really work well with them?
Absolutely. In addition to working well with them, I think that I am that open, transparent person that residents feel connected to.
Right.
So being on council, you know, you may have different people that you relate better with as a resident. And so from this campaign season, what I'm hearing is that they feel very that they can approach me and ask me questions and feel that I am going to be able to represent their voice. And so that's my objective, is to be able to be the voice of the residents, whether you've lived here for 30 years or just a new resident in the last year.
Well, you definitely have my vote.
Thank
and
you.
I thank you for sitting down with me, and I look forward to the election because I think you're going to do a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you. So early voting is April 22nd. And that runs until the 30th. It's very easy to vote. All you have to do, you know, there's assigned parking spaces right out front, so it can be done in 5 minutes. Go in and vote. And again, my name's Mary Grace. Thoennes is my last name. Thoennes like the game, not spelled the same.
Not spelled like tennis, though.
Not spelled the same.
All right, and then do you have a website or anything you want to give out?
Yeah, absolutely. It is votemarygrace.com.
Votemarygrace.com. Thank you again, Mary Grace Thoennes.
Thank you.